Thanks for tuning into today's Talking Point. It's a special episode because I'm talking to a special guest. He's a Maverick investor. He does what he thinks is best, and his results have proven to be great for him because he's, to be honest, as you all know by now, a typical rags to riches story. Vijay Kedia joins in. And frankly, now I don't even feel like calling it a rags to riches story. Okay, Vijay, from the time that I have started speaking to you, it's been riches to more riches story. So maybe it was a rags to riches story if you look at 1995 or something like that. You've been a tremendous investor, and it's a pleasure having you on Talking Point today.
Thank you, dear. Thank you. Thank you very much. And so far, rags to riches is concerned, it is all subjective. It depends on whom do you compare yourself with. So maybe if I compare with somebody, then I'm still at the rags stage, you can call it.
Well, completely.
It's okay. Work in progress.
Work in
that
progress.
Is the best.
No, but you've come far, and which is why we love talking to you, because we love understanding how you're thinking about specific market things currently when you are looking at your investment portfolios as well. So tell us, Vijay, how do you look at the current investing landscape? Do you still believe that with the markets having rallied and so many conversations around how there could be a correction, that you are still investing your money into stocks that you like because you believe they will do well?
Sorry, actually, I could not hear half the question.
Okay, sorry. If you can hear me, what I'm just trying to understand is that a lot of people are saying that there'll be a correction in the market because India has rallied from 16,800 to 18,300. Are you still fully invested in your conviction ideas because you believe that they will do well even if the markets do not?
Yeah, Neeraj bhai, I am 100% invested. And in my entire career of 25, 30, whatever years, I had always been 100% invested until unless I need some money in short term. Maybe if I need money, maybe after 3 months, so then I can create some cash. Otherwise, if you will see that in my bank, I won't be having more than 4, 5, 10 lakhs rupees more than that. So I'm 100% invested. And so far, this reaction and action is concerned. So that we have seen so many action and reaction in this life in the market. And so I think that is a part of life. It is like our own thing. It is like our own life. Sometimes you fall sick, sometimes you catch cold, sometimes you have fever. So all these things are part and parcel of the stock market. So if you can come over that fear of reaction, then you will you can create wealth in this market.
Okay. I would love to understand from you, Mr. Kedia, are you still making those very large concentrated bets, or because the size of the portfolio has gone up that you are now a lot more diversified?
No, I don't know what is the meaning of still. That मेरे को लगता है अभी तो party शुरू हुई है. What I mean to say, and so yes, whatever money at any given point of time, if I like any share and whatever money I have in my bank or whatever money I can create, I invest in that share. So I am, as I said, that yes, and whatever share I can get at that point of time, I will buy those shares.
Okay, no, let me rephrase my question. Maybe previously you had a relatively smaller AUM. आपकी portfolio की size कम थी. But I know that from whatever little I've interacted with you, that you used to make large bets. मतलब Atul Auto हुआ, yeah, your famous stocks, right? Aegis Logistics or whatever. You made large concentrated bets. Now your portfolio size has gone up dramatically. So now do you make still as a percentage of your portfolio, would 3 or 4 stocks still be very large bets, or now it is more diversified?
No, it is diversified, no doubt about it. Maybe 10 shares in my portfolio, in my bouquet of maybe 25, 30 shares, 10 or 12 or maybe 13, 14 shares, which is the biggest contributor of my whatever portfolio. And usually I buy, as you said, that I buy in percentage. If I do not buy 1% or 2% or 3%, I lose my sleep at night. I'm not comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
And for the reason I will tell you an example, a reason I had given once somewhere, that like suppose if you are not hitting a 6 in a no ball, so and you get just 1 run, it does not mean that you have gotten 1 run. It means you have lost 6 runs. So it is same thing is related in this market. So far your idea is concerned. If you like the idea, then you should go, as you say, in full swing.
Yeah, most certainly. I would love to understand one thing. I've heard you say this on numerous platforms, including one of our previous interviews, Alpha Moguls, wherein you said that you look at shares or a company for a really long time before you necessarily buy. Maybe there would be exceptions, but usually you observe a company, its method of working, maybe its financials for some time before you buy. But abhi to cycles are now a lot more concentrated and narrowed. Matlab, IT went up and down in a matter of 12 to 18 months, and you definitely, or maybe you don't get a chance to look at companies for so long. So do you still follow that principle? Yeah, there are some changes to the way you look at stocks now before you buy them.
No, I still follow the very much same principle. I watch the stock maybe for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, sometime 10 years. This is what I have done in the past also, that I was watching a share for 15 years, and later on in 2014 I bought that was Sudarshan Chemical. So the same pattern I'm still following. I am watching the shares for many years, and when I find that now it has come to an inflection point, or maybe now the turnaround point or whatever, and now things should start improving, the worst is over in the company, at that time I enter. Yeah.
Okay. And now from what I understand of talking to you off cam, that you also now obviously have a slightly larger team looking at things for you and helping you with your investment process. I would love to understand, okay, in India now there are a lot more new themes that have come in, like data centers, green hydrogen fuel, electric vehicle or electrification is a big theme, or कई themes जो पहले थी but they never came to the fore. They say railways hui, which a lot of marquee investors have got into after ignoring them for the 10, 15 years, so on and so forth. So where is it that you currently feel, which themes are the places or which pockets where you currently feel कि यहाँ से six मारने का best possibility है from a long term perspective?
You see, in this market, I think there are so many ideas, but you have limited capital, whether you have 1,000 crore or you have 2,000 crore, even 200,000 crore. According to the market size, your money is always lesser than the ideas you can explore in this market. So far, all these ITs and new age technologies are concerned, I have never invested in that, in those companies, the new age technologies. And defense, I had invested in Hindustan Aeronautics 2 years back, but I exited somehow. So far, this green hydrogen and other sector which you mentioned, so I haven't bought any shares so far. Of course, I am watching all those, all these sectors, because there is a quote of mine that stay invested in a sunrise sector and stay out of a sunset sector at any cost. So according to those principles, all these sectors are always there in my mind, on my radar, but I haven't bought. But of course, I have bought, like I am invested in, I think that the capex theory in India had just started. Okay, this we had been waiting for last 2, 3 or maybe 4 years. कि अभी चालू होगा, लेकिन एक दिन तो भेड़िया आता ही है ना. So this is what I think, and all this infrastructure, manufacturing or capex, whatever you call it, the story has begun. And in that sector, I have invested in 2 companies. And I am happy with that as it is. I don't have any money. Even if I find some new idea, I have to sell my old stocks, old ideas, and invest in new. So I generally don't do that. So I'm happy with whatever I am having.
Any reason why? I mean, if you can share, I don't want to ask you something that you can't share, but is there a reason why you maybe got out of a premier defense stock? Was it valuations? Was it something else? Did you need the money for a better idea? What was it?
No, as I told you, I have a habit, I have a bad habit. And the habit is that unless I buy at least 1% of a company, I can't hold the shares for long term. So it could be bad or good, I don't know, but I am happy with that. That makes me feel that I'm committed to the company. You know, if I am having 2-3% of a company, it makes me feel that I'm committed. And if I am having some 1/4% or 0.5% and all, so those I keep like a reserve. You can say that whenever I will get some good idea, I will sell the shares. In this process, I may go wrong also. Like Hindustan Aeronautics gave a handsome return even after I sold, but that is okay. Yeah, ultimately you are a human. You know.
Yeah, most certainly. I would love to understand a few things and just want to understand how you are thinking about them or why you are thinking about them that way. So, जैसे मैंने railways कहा, वैसे PSU Banks, they came to the party in 2022 in a big way. They are probably a bit quiet currently, but I've heard numerous sharp minds talk about the re-emergence of PSUs, including PSU Banks. Ramesh Damani has spoken a lot about PSUs. A lot of other people have spoken about PSU Banks. 2 days ago, I remember Vijay sir, that I was talking to Rajiv Jain of GQG. He's a large global money manager, and he said that he is very constructive on PSU banks in India. I want to understand if you have thought about, or if you've looked at the PSU banking sector, what do you think about those, and why do you have that view?
No, I had also invested in 2 or 3 banks. One was private bank, small private bank, and 2 from the PSUs like Bank of Baroda and Canara Bank. I made some money and I exited also. So I exited because banks are a slow mover, so it doesn't give me any thrill until unless your stock rises 20% and falls 20%. It doesn't make me, feel that I am doing something. So those are very good investment. Still, I think I am very bullish on banks and all these whatever banks we are talking about. I'm PSU banks or even private banks. I'm bullish on those. But currently, I do not have any position. I sold because I like to buy mid caps and small caps and all, which are illiquid. That makes me hold my shares for long term. That illiquidity in the market, illiquidity in those stocks actually binds me to hold my shares even in the crisis because I cannot sell them. So that is happening in my favor. So this is what the story is behind this PSU banks.
Okay, so you do like the story, but it is not exciting enough for you because you have other exciting opportunities.
Yeah, I think so.
I get your point. Okay. Sometime during this interview in the next 5-10 minutes, I would love to hear another quote from you as well, Mr. Kedia, because your quotes and your songs are very popular. So we would love to have something like that here. But I will wait for that. I'm not forcing you, but whenever you can slip in, please do slip in because I wouldn't know what is the latest thing that you've thought of. But I'm still trying to ask you a few things. I have seen you buy into companies and not get too perturbed if the stock price falls. There are enough examples of that. You've shared about them on media quite a bit. I want to understand from you, do you also average up? There are a lot of people who say, okay, I buy small and when it actually moves up, I actually average up. Rakesh Junjunwala probably has said this a number of times as well. I want to understand from you, then do you do that as well? And if so, what is your mental model when you do this?
So you are right that whatever shares I have bought and I'm holding for 5-10 years, and during that journey, the stock price reacts up to 50% or 40, 30, 40, 50%. It's quite common phenomena. So now I have learned to live by that. It doesn't, disturb me. Of course, when your wealth, if it falls 40, 50% in a year, it worries you, but I don't lose my sleep. So I have now become habituated of this thing. And so far this averaging is concerned, I do average, but I average my shares initially when I have to, as you call in the fund manager's language, like if I am creating my book, if I'm making my book, and suppose I have to buy 500,000 shares of a company and I could get only 200,000 shares, for example. So maybe after 3 months, I will buy another 200,000 or 300,000 shares. So that I can do initially when I'm making the book. But after that, maybe I won't be averaging it, but it depends. There are exceptions to it. And so there is no fixed rule that I'm not following any fixed principle. I will do this, I will not do this. I can change my mind. There are few instances while talking, I can remember there are few instances like one share I had bought at 50 rupees. And after that, when I like the shares, I bought at 200 rupees also. After 4 years of my holding, I bought at 300 rupees, something like that. So that is exception to the rule, but basically I would like to, in the beginning only, I can buy, even the shares price has doubled, I can buy, but not later.
Got it. I want to talk about 2 examples just to understand again how you're thinking about them because you've held them for a long time. If I'm not wrong, you held them for a long time. One of them would be Tejas, if you're still holding it, that is, because you bought it, it went through a period of turmoil, then it recovered, then the Tatas got into it. Now a TCS Tejas duo is ushering in Tata's new plan from the telecom side as well. So they're doing a lot of things. So one, are you invested there? And even if you are not invested in a big way, what do you think about this story now? Because there is a very stable captain in the Tatas at the helm of affairs, and they are making it a global play, not just an Indian play.
So for disclosure or whatever we are talking, I am still holding around 2% of the company. At one point of time, I was holding some 3%, I think. And earlier, I used to worry about the company, that what will happen. It's some new product and a new company, and management is also very honest, very sincere management. But they do not have any like an experience of 20 years in this industry. It's something like not Tata or like not others and all. So I used to worry about the company. Now I have given my worry on Tata's shoulder. Now Tata is worried about the company. So since Tata is worried, now he is worrying about the company. Then I am just I am sitting back and relaxing in my business class, and let the captain, let the pilot or whatever worry about the ship. Let him sail. So I am at ease now.
No, but still, I mean, while Tatas are managing it, you would have, obviously, you and your team or your team would have fed you with details about what is happening, etc. How do you think about this business?
So first of all, let me tell you, I do not have any big team. I have two people who just compile data for me.
Okay.
And so because I don't trust anybody for that matter, I may be wrong. That does not matter. So you have to live your own life. You have to die your own death, as they say.
Of course.
So I'm happy with myself. And what now? As we all know now, the card is on the table. Now, day before yesterday only, I think 15,000 crore worth of order has been given to TCS by BSNL and all. And I think half that money, or more than half, maybe 60-70% of that order will come to Tejas. I think so. Okay. So this is what management had been, sharing all this news in their phone call and all. So now the story of this 5G has begun. And now there would be so many G. I read somewhere that now Australia or some country is trying 10G. I don't know how far it is true. But now the BSNL is still 2G or 3G, whatever it is. Now 4G. Next year they will try a set of 5G, then 6G, then 7G. So the story has just begun. And being Tata at the helm of the affair, you can understand now that how compatible they are. And the biggest advantage to them is this. Now, after this boycott of Huawei of so many European and foreign countries, now Tejas has come in the forefront, and because of the Tata tag behind the company, now even any European company will not hesitate to take services of Tejas. So I think the big, large, opportunity for them have opened up.
Okay. So that's one view, all right. The other one is, how do you think about your large investments where you are convinced about the business model maybe, but they don't turn out as you planned, both on the stock price as well as how the business is performing? Like I if I'm not wrong, and I don't know whether you still have an investment in Repro or no, but you used to have a large investment in Repro. There were a lot of other marquee investors, some of whom have moved out and some others have come in. Sumit Nagar and Malabar Investments sold out, but Madhusudan Kela has come in as well. And you have been probably a constant figure through all this thing. So how do you think about your investment in such a business wherein there's a lot of promise, but the delivery is probably not on the timelines that you had thought of maybe?
So, Neeraj, as they say, that man proposes, God disposes, So every time you can't be right. Of course, I'm still holding some 7-8%. I don't remember, or maybe 7-8-9% in Repro India. And the first investment I made in that was in 2014 or 15 at 150 rupees. But Sumit Nagar is a very good friend of mine and very intelligent person. And of course, along with him, I had also bought that preferential and all, just to give a comfort factor to Sumit. I wanted him to come into the company. So I also took some preferential at a higher price, 575 rupees or something. And after that, the price never came to that level. So now of course, Sumit has exited the stock because he has so many big and good ideas. And since he's a fund manager, he has so many responsibilities on his head. So that is all right. Sometimes story takes time to play out. So that is all right. I'm comfortable. And of course, I'm not, as you said, I will say that I'm not happy about it, what happened, because I missed a lot of opportunity because of Repro. But is it like a shop, suppose if you are selling 15, 20 kind of stuff in your shop, sometime ये ज़्यादा बिकेगा, sometime वो ज़्यादा बिकेगा, कभी ये सड़ जाएगा, कभी वो हो जाएगा. That's a part of the game. But what I think that underlying story of Repro is still intact and still had not been played, in full swing. So I think that is going to play out. This is what I am biased. That is why I'm saying so. So I'm holding my shares, and as on date, I think that I will keep on holding since I have held for so long time. Let me see what happens in next 2 years. I think I will wait. As on today, I'm saying that I will wait. I may sell tomorrow. I don't know. As on today, while giving you, I think that I will hold.
Viewers, please standard disclaimer. You should buy or sell not because Vijay Kedia ji is doing it. You should do it on your own research. He may come out and sell tomorrow for very different reasons than yours. So please be mindful of that. Now, this was lovely to just try and understand how you're thinking about markets currently, Mr. Kedia. Before we wrap up, what is the one good thing that you've learned in the recent past? Something that you read somewhere, or a quote that you developed on your own, or a message that you've given out via various of your songs? One very interesting thing that you can share with us before we wrap up this interview.
My one thing I have understood, this I have read since my childhood, that like Gita and all that teaches us कि तुम्हारा अपना कुछ नहीं है, और मेरा अपना कुछ नहीं, जो कुछ है सो तो ये तेरा तुझको सौंपे क्या लागत है मोह. ये सब we have learned all these things, read all these things in our childhood. After COVID, I have started believing that, कि ये वाकई में कुछ नहीं है. Whatever, there is a quote of mine here that your demat statement belongs to the market. Your investment belongs to the market. Your profit belongs to you. So your demat statement belongs to the market. Your bank statement belongs to you. Okay, so nothing is mine. Whatever is happening, it's like a leela. It is like some leela is happening. कभी ये बढ़ गया, कभी वो गिर गया, कभी पोर्टफोलियो बढ़ गया 50 करोड़ से, कभी गिर गया 50 करोड़ से. जब तक मैं बेचता नहीं हूं, तब तक वो पैसा मेरा नहीं है. और वन थिंग आई हैव लर्नड इन दिस मार्केट कि स्टॉक मार्केट के पैसे से अपने लाइफस्टाइल को चेंज नहीं करना है. स्टॉक मार्केट का जो पैसा है, आपका डीमेट का जो वर्थ है, उससे अपने लाइफस्टाइल को चेंज नहीं करने का, अपने खर्चे को नहीं बढ़ाने का, अपने लाइफस्टाइल को वही मीडियोकर जो चल रही है उसी को. जब तक आपका लाइफस्टाइल 10 गुना 20 गुना नहीं बढ़ता है, तब तक अपने डेली के खर्चे को डबल भी नहीं करने का. तो ये सिंपल चीज है विच आई हैड अंडरस्टूड. आई एम इम्प्लीमेंटिंग नाउ.
Lovely to know that. And thank you so much for your humility and the amazing things or insights that you gave us today. Mr. Vijay Kedia, lovely talking to you, and look forward to talk to you more often.
Thank you. Thank you, Neeraj.
And viewers, thanks for tuning into this edition of The Talking Point.